Let's break down that EPA ruling. West Virginia versus EPA. Was the court correct in their decision?
Well, it has very little to do with the environment. The court has been in a process of trying to reduce the power of all administrative agencies. It believes, this majority believes, that Congress should not abdicate in general terms to administrative agencies powers. What the Supreme Court basically said is if Congress wants the EPA to do this, it ought to tell them to do it in explicit terms. So this is more of a rejection of the administrative state than it is of any particular climate policy. And it's going to continue. There are going to be other attacks on administrative agencies as well. And so Congress better get busy and pass legislation if it wants to have impacts on the environment and other important policies.
And another big case this week saw the court rule that the state of Oklahoma was authorized to handle certain crimes on Native American land. So Justice Gorsuch broke with conservatives and issued a scathing dissent saying the court failed to honor the nation's promises. What do you make of that ruling?
Well, we have failed to honor our nation's promise since the days of Andrew Jackson. Our history in relation to Native Americans is nothing short of despicable. We've broken contracts, we've broken deals. We have an absolute obligation to give whatever power Native American groups want on their areas. I hate to call them reservations, I don't like that term. But there are great conflicts because sometimes what the Native American groups want to do may violate the individual rights of individual Native Americans. This is a very, very tough area. I began working on this area about 40 years ago, more when I recruited Native Americans to come to Harvard Law School. I have enormous sympathy for the situation that they face under American law.
And Professor Dershowitz, you're a self-described liberal Democrat, but progressives like AOC, they're floating the idea of impeaching Supreme Court justices. It's never been done before, but is that even possible?
Well, first of all, I'm a liberal Democrat. I'm the most anti-progressive, anti-radical, anti-AOC person imaginable. I'm like a conservative who doesn't like the extreme right. So I have no sympathy for that. First, of course, she's wrong. The Supreme Court justice has been impeached back in the day. Second, there were efforts to impeach Earl Warren by conservatives, efforts to impeach William Douglas. Impeachment is only justified for criminal acts. Justices can't be in any way held accountable for their judicial opinions. And George Washington University, there are now efforts to prevent Justice Thomas from teaching. Look, I don't like some of these decisions, and I'm going to argue against them in subsequent cases. But you can't demean the Supreme Court. You can't pack the Supreme Court. You can't delegitimate the Supreme Court. Today, the Supreme Court has turned to the right. In my day, it had turned to the left. It's always been controversial, and the pendulum has often swung quite widely. I support Martin Luther King's statement that the arc of justice generally points to justice, and I think it will in our country. This is the weekend of July 4th. We have to appreciate the great American institutions, and they include the Supreme Court, whether we agree or not with particular decisions.
And there was a changing of the guard on the Supreme Court. Justice Stephen Breyer officially retired Thursday. Ketanji Brown Jackson sworn in as the court's 116th justice. She's the first black woman. What does this mean for the Supreme Court? And Professor Dershowitz, as somebody who's a former colleague and a friend of Justice Breyer's, can you react to what his legacy on the court will be?
I think it'll be a great legacy. I was responsible in a small part for him getting the nomination to the Supreme Court. I worked very hard behind the scenes to try to get him nominated with President Clinton, provided a lot of information to the president. I think his legacy will be great. He is a moderate liberal, not an extremist. He follows the law. He's not only written great opinions, but he's written great books about the Supreme Court. He will be well remembered for having served extremely well in the several decades that he served, not only on the Supreme Court, but on the lower courts as well. He was a very, very good justice and one who will be well remembered by history. And I hope that his successor, who was his law clerk, will follow in his course, to be moderate, to try to build consensus, not to try to impose their own personal views on the jurisprudence of the Supreme Court, but to apply the law fairly and in a contemporarily relevant way. I think that's what Breyer tried to do, and that's, I think, what Jackson will try to do. I hope so.
Alan Dershowitz, author of The Case for Colorblind Equality in an Age of Identity Politics. Thank you for being here, and have a happy Independence Day.
Thank you. You too.